Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, Jane. Nice to meet you. Um, I know we've talked through email and on the phone about our initial assessment, which is today, and I've read some of your um history. Um, what seems to be the concern for you?
So honestly, I'm just going through a lot right now. Both my parents recently just passed. I'm struggling. There's actually a few things wrong with me. I'm struggling to find a job, with the degree that I have. I don't have any friends. I don't have any supports. It's basically just me taking on everything. And especially since my parents have died, I've been gaining new responsibilities that I haven't had before, and I'm just very overwhelmed.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. And what when did your parents die?
So my parents died 6 months apart. It's pretty recent. It was about a year ago, and they died 6 months apart. My mom died. She had a ALS, and then my dad suffered from COPD due to his smoking. He was a big, big smoker.
Mm,
So it's been
okay.
crazy.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, yeah, it's so sad. Don't mind me. I take notes if that's okay with you. So if you see me put my head down, I'm taking notes, okay?
Okay, no problem. No problem
Thank
at
you.
all.
So Jane, so you're 26 and do you have any health issues yourself?
No, I'm perfectly healthy. Nothing's wrong with me. I accept that I am dealing with all this and it is making me very stressed out and anxiety. So mentally, I'm kind of suffering, but physically, I'm great.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's good. That's so important to have good health. Um, you have any siblings?
No.
Relatives?
I mean, I have relatives, but it, they're not people that I would call on to depend on. Like
Okay.
they're very distant.
Okay. So there's a thing called genogram. Are you familiar with a genogram?
Um, I remember doing something like that in school. It's something about like my family members or something.
Yeah, it's like a family tree, okay? And it reveals detailed information about different family members, like past relationships, maybe health issues, um, maybe cousins, relatives, things like that. So um
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you some questions, and like I said, if you see me going like this, I'm writing down stuff
Okay.
so I can better help you and get a better understanding. So um you said your parents are both deceased.
Yes.
Okay. What was your mom's name?
So my mom's name was Maureen
Okay.
and my dad's name was David.
Okay, Mr. David. Um, and your grandparents, what was your mom's parents' name?
So my mom's mom, her name was Ellis, and my mom's dad's name was Dan. And then on my dad's side, my dad's dad was Joe, and my dad's mom was Nancy.
Joe and Nancy. All right. Thank you. And does your parents have siblings or no?
Um, no. I mean, whenever I would talk to my mom and my dad about like our family members besides our grandparents, they were very hesitant to speak on things. From my knowledge, no, they don't have brothers or sisters.
Okay. And then you don't either, right?
No.
Okay. So a lot of only child things going on.
Yeah,
Um,
my parents were very separated from the rest of my family for some reason.
hmm,
Yeah.
okay. All right. And how's your relationship with your parents before they passed? Like,
Well, it was wonderful, honestly. Like, we had a great relationship. It wasn't until they started getting sick to where our relationships drastically changed. They've always been supportive. Like I went to college, I got my degree that supported me through that, but they were sick around the time where I was in college. So I was stressed up as it is, and then I was also taking care of them. So it became very hard for me to juggle it all, and including
Mhm.
our relationships with both of them.
I can see how that could be very juggling, yes. So, what influenced your culture? What influenced your background? What's your ethnicity?
So I'm Irish and Italian.
Okay.
Um, what do you mean, like influenced
Like your values,
by?
like
Oh,
your
okay.
yeah, like your values, your um past experiences, um things
Well,
like that.
my mom always raised me to be an independent woman. That's why I'm working at the Family Dollar right now. I'm currently the assistant manager. And she always encouraged me to, well, okay, let me tell you a background story. Before she met my dad, she was struggling and she was alone for a while.
Hmm.
She was by herself, and she always distilled at a young age to for me to be independent and make sure I have, like money to support myself. So I have been working as well on top of that.
Awesome. Awesome. So you said your parents died within a year, so one in the last year, so 6 months apart.
Yes.
Do you know the dates? Do you remember the dates that happened?
Um, the date of my mom's passing was April 13th. And
Okay.
then um I would say my dad started getting pretty sick 6 months later, which would be
Around October 15th-ish.
October. Yeah, around
You
October.
remember you remember the day? The exact day?
I believe it was October 17th.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah,
that's so recent.
honestly, when it
That's very
comes
recent.
when it comes to dates and everything like that, like these were very traumatic experiences for me, and I feel like I
Yes.
haven't fully processed them. So when I like think back on stuff like that, I get a little cloudy.
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah,
It's very early in the stage. And once again, I'm very sorry for your loss. I mean, you've been the caregiver and you've been a good child. You've been a good daughter to your parents. Um,
I appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. And do you know when your parents got married? If you don't know the exact day, you know what year?
I believe it was 1996.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay. Um,
1996. And they had a great marriage, by the way.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Like there wasn't any like they supported each other.
That's
Like
awesome.
marriage conflict was never the problem.
That's awesome. So I know you told me that you had a great relationship with your parents. You just mentioned they had a great relationship. They're more of the symbiotic team
Yes.
player mutual, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Um, how is your relationship with your peers or people you work with at the Family
Um,
Dollar?
well, at the Family Dollar, they're nice. The people that I work with, they're nice, but I feel like I've had so much on my plate to where I haven't really formed friendships
Hmm.
in there, if that makes sense. I'm very to myself. I'm very to just making sure I'm doing my job, getting the money that I have to provide for myself and bringing it home and then focusing on my home life. Like I
Right,
haven't really developed relationships at my job and honestly outside of my job either.
right. Okay. On a scale of 1 through 10, I know you are having trouble sleeping and you're very sad. You're going through extreme sadness. Where would you rate your mental health today
My mental
on a
health
scale of 1 to 10?
on a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I would rate it an 8.5.
An 8.5.
Yeah.
Even though you're with your extreme sadness and stuff, it's 8.5.
Well, I would say it's an 8.5 just
Sorry.
because I'm still managing to get up, go to work. I'm still taking care of my initial responsibilities. But yeah.
That's good.
I still do have it in me to get up and go to work and get up and try to manage everything else I have going on because who else is going to take care of it?
That's true. So you're functioning at a high level, but at the same time, you're dealing with your sadness. Yeah, yep. That's
Yes.
awesome that you know how to um cope and channel in that way. That's awesome. Um, so you work at the Family Dollar and you have an education. What education do you have?
So I have a degree in library science. I went to school for 4 years.
You got a bachelor?
Yes, I have my bachelor's, but I'm struggling to, like, yes, I'm working at the Family Dollar, but I would love to work in a job that's my field. I'm just struggling without any support and people to guide me. I don't really know where to look or like how to even like when I came to school, my mom would help me. Like when got into school, she helped me set up my application, set up my resume. She helped me, I don't have anybody to really guide me like that.
Mhm.
So I'm struggling with finding a job in my profession.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, so I know you're having some mental stuff going on because that's why you're seeing me with the sadness. Um, what about like family? Did your parents have any mental health disorders? Anything you know based off of the genogram that we talked about earlier, your grandparents, Ellis and Dan, Joe and Nancy, did anybody that you knew or know of in your family have any mental health issues or stuff?
Yes, actually. So my dad's dad, he struggled with depression.
Okay, Joe had depression.
Yes, but since my parents are very kind of like hush hush in the terms of when it comes to my family. I
Mhm.
don't know the extent of it, but I do know that my dad did say that he had depression.
Okay.
Um, and it kind of got out of control from my understanding.
Okay, was his depression because of his COPD?
So that was my dad. My dad had COPD. My dad's dad was the one who was very depressed.
Oh, so David was never depressed.
No.
Okay. Okay, so just Joseph. Okay.
Yes. My
All
dad
right.
was just a heavy smoker.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so so I know you have sleep issues
hmm
and extreme sadness. Is
hmm
there anything else that's bothering you? Any other challenges that you're facing that you want me to assist you with throughout our therapy process?
Um, is there any like groups that I can like meet people at. And I just want to form connections. I feel like I'm very lonely. I feel like I'm
Okay.
very lonely. I feel like I don't have anybody like talking to you right now about my feelings is the most I've had in a very long time. Like I would
Um,
love to form other relationships with other people who have similar things going on. Maybe I can develop some friendships. Like that's another thing I'm struggling with is my relationships with people.
relationships and connections. Okay, yeah, here at this practice, um, at Jonathan's counseling services, we have a group actually for women. It's a women trauma, women who experience trauma, loss, stress, anything in that nature. And it's about connectedness. It's about bonding with one another and women who face obstacles in their lives and the camaraderie and the cohesiveness is imperative there. And I've witnessed the evolution of certain clients in the group. So maybe that will be something that we can discuss um, with you joining with the group therapy as well as our individual therapy.
Yes, I would love that. I
Okay.
would love that. Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, when was the onset or you remember the dates about time frame where you've been feeling extreme sadness and not sleeping? Do you remember?
Well, when my mom started to get very sick,
Hmm.
probably about 2 months before April when she passed, that's when I started getting very sad.
Okay.
It was very difficult me watching my mother slowly pass. It was very difficult for that. I would say that's when the sleeplessness started because I was always waking up, I was checking on her, checking
Hmm.
on my dad as well. Like I was checking on both of them.
Hmm.
So the sleepless nights started before that, before
Okay.
they passed. But the worst of it is right now.
Okay.
Like I can't sleep at all.
Okay. So right now, so October 29th,
Yes.
not sleeping at all.
It's like I can't get my mind to shut off.
Okay. Okay. Um, so thank you for the information and nice to meet you. And also, um, I'll see you again next week if that's okay with you. Um,
Yeah,
Next Wednesday at 5.
that's fine with me,
Okay,
honestly.
and I have a lot of I have some mental health instruments that I sent to your email
Okay.
and they're on the portal as well, the portal therapy notes portal. If you can complete those before our next session next Wednesday, because I'd like to and feel free to expound upon those as well, and so I can do a deeper take to get a better assessment of what's going on with you. And um once again, I'm sorry for your loss and Jane, and um I'll see you next week.
I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you. I
Have a-
appreciate you even taking the time. Nobody really does, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend.
You as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.